It is weak. It is childish. It is it's lazy. Comparing people you don't like or you disagree with to Adolf Hitler. That is what we're talking about today. This was brought up by the administration in a actual a White House presentation. Um, we've been hearing this over and over again. Trump is Hitler. 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 So now, yesterday, if you didn't catch it, and thanks for hanging out. This is another news. I'm your host, Mike Russell. I have said throughout my career, and I worked with somebody who often did this. It does not matter who it was. It was mostly Trump, but this person, it sounded like a turkey call when he got excited. Hitler. It was just the same reference to a man who exterminated, in his words, 6 million Jews. Million. Comparing someone you don't like to Hitler is absolutely astonishing. So this is what happened. The Hail Marys are coming from the Kamala campaign. So here's what we had yesterday.
So yesterday we learned that Donald Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, a retired
John Kelly, remember that, John Kelly. Now, here comes his former chief of staff, John Kelly. Here comes the entire commercial now. Here comes the commercial.
Four-star general confirmed that while Donald Trump was president, he said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had. Donald Trump said that because he does not want a military that is loyal to the United States Constitution. He wants a military.
Hello, Pot. This is Kettle.
That is loyal to him. He wants a military who will be loyal to him personally, one that will obey his orders even when he tells them to break the law or abandon their oath to the Constitution of the United States. In just the past week, Donald Trump has repeatedly called his fellow Americans the enemy from within.
That's not actually, that's been debunked. I can't even tell you how many times that's been debunked. And it was several times in the last week. What are you talking about?
He would use the United States military to go after American citizens. And let's be clear about who he considers to be the enemy from within.
Right.
Anyone who refuses to bend a knee or dares to criticize him
Where
would
is this
qualify
from?
in his mind as the enemy within, like judges, like journalists, like nonpartisan election officials.
It was like this. Let me put it this way. We can get back to her in a second. Let me put it this way. It was like, okay, so Hitler reincarnate showed up in 2016 and just, decided to give peace a chance for 4 years and lower everyone's taxes and just forgot to be Hitler. Yeah, I just forgot. I was going to do that in my last 4 years. I just forgot to be this tyrant, fascist, Mussolini kind of character here. Wow. Mm-hmm. So, yes, let's get back into this little speechifying.
It is deeply troubling and incredibly dangerous that Donald Trump would invoke Adolf Hitler, the man who is responsible for the deaths of 6 million Jews and hundreds of thousands of Americans. All of this is further evidence for the American people of who Donald Trump really is.
Someone's campaigning from the White House. That's actually a violation of the Hatch Act. But why is no one going to talk about that? You literally can't have anyone.
Really is. From the people who know him best, from the people who worked with him side by side in the Oval Office and in the Situation Room.
Okay, and who are you talking about, Madam VP? Who are you talking about?
Let's listen. So yesterday we learned that Donald Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly.
Oh, John Kelly. Okay. So you were saying that John Kelly, who's shilling a book right now, shilling his own book. Look what I have in my book. Look what I said that no one else can corroborate, but I said that I heard Donald Trump say this, and you run a campaign speech from the White House, again violating the Hatch Act, but you run a speech from the White House. Well, that might have been from the observatory. I don't really know. I just see a white door back there. This John Kelly, same guy, right here. Oh, look at this. Let's see. Business Insider. John Kelly tried to get everyone else to lie, says ex-White House officials. NBC News. Wilson says Kelly lied, used racist term in his emotional briefing. Mother Jones. Do you know who runs Mother Jones? That's Van Jones. Van Jones of CNN fame. Headline from Mother Jones. John Kelly lies a lot, says Mother Jones. But now he said, Orange Man bad. Orange Man bad. This guy is a 4-star general, mind you. Mind you, you cannot question him. He's a 4-star general. Did you hear what he had in his book about Donald Trump? I told the patriarch of the liberal wing of my tribe the other day. I said, we're talking about the Trump economy. I said, what the Trump economy was people writing books about him, about working with him. For you do 10 days in the White House. Remember, who was that that woman from the Apprentice that he brought into the White House for like 5 days? Omarosa. That was her name. Omarosa. I don't even know if she has a last name. That might be her last name. She might just have one word like Prince. I don't know. Omarosa went and wrote a book immediately. Funny how the book was already written. Yeah. That was the Trump account. Forget the Trump library. The Trump library is going to be put on essentially by the DNC. It's going to be all the books written about Trump's presidency. In 4 years, they did this. It's going to be a library, Dewey Decimal System, whole nine. Oh, it's constant. Thank you, Grizz. Yes, it is. And Greg, I definitely agree with that. It is this is a desperation move. It's getting worse though behind the scenes. So we're gonna stay on this though. We're gonna kind of stay on the gas just for a little bit when it comes to this Hitler thing because it's so annoying to me. And I think it's annoying because it is lazy. If these journalists are supposed to be the top of their game, if these politicians, whether Republicans or Democrats, are supposed to be at the top of their game, they should not be this lazy. Really? Hitler? That's what you got? You can't throw some obscure, maybe like a Steve Jobs in there or something like that he throws temper tantrums like Steve Jobs or anything. Like, no. He's going to round up and kill 6 million. It was like Hitler did. Hey, come on. Put some time into it. Put some thought into it. Hitler. Really? And it just come out how many years later? 5 years later? When it comes to Kelly, 5 years later? And say, oh, hey, remember, now that my book has been published, here's what it says in my book. I heard him say this once. I heard him say it. That was it. Really? And that's what we're gonna hang our hat on? Look, Trump says stupid stuff. He does. Says insulting stuff. He says offensive stuff. But to compare the man who quite literally has Jewish grandkids, Hitler, is quite funny. So Michael Rappaport, the comedian himself, is he's had about enough of it as much as I have, and he is no supporter of Donald Trump. He hates the man, hates him. But then he also hates, I don't know, as a Jewish guy, probably hates Hitler more.
Donald Trump, pig Donald Trump, call him whatever you want. I've given you gem after gem for years, but stop with the Hitler shit. Stop with the Hitler shit. Do not refer to Hitler and the Holocaust, the actual greatest slaughter and actual genocide of the Jewish people ever for attention and political gain.
Yep.
Stop it.
Preach,
that
kid.
Nazi rally that took place in Madison Square Garden in 1939.
Oh, by the way, we're going to get to that because someone else brought up the Madison Square Garden Nazi rally. I'm not kidding. Wait till you see who.
Was just that, an actual true blue Nazi rally. So are you saying that anyone and everyone who shows up at Madison Square Garden for this upcoming Trump rally is a Nazi? That's a Nazi rally? Get the out of here. What kind of rallies are happening on the college campuses in New York City, in Union Square, where they're waving Hamas flags and kissing
There's my
Yahya Sinwar photos? What kind of rallies are that?
Yeah.
Do not men-
Wait. I'm not going to paint over that. We're in no way we're going to, Michael, you little genius, you. Not me, Michael, him. I'll let you guys say that. I kid. Anyway, don't paint over that. So the same, you're going to say, okay, so he has a Madison Square Garden rally coming up, okay? And the guy's filled Madison Square Garden, sold out Madison Square Garden. That's like in the media world, Hollywood, comedians, music acts, you sell out Madison Square Garden, done. You're the hype. Jerry Seinfeld just sold out Madison Square Garden because you're the hype. You're the GOAT. So that's nothing to sneeze at. Then to say everybody that goes there is a Nazi because Hitler did that once 100 years ago. 90, I know. Just don't do math on the fly. 90-ish years ago, that means everybody there's Nazis. But then he asked the question, what about the rallies on the college campuses right now that are screaming death to Israel? Queers for Palestine is still my favorite. It's my favorite group of all of those college campuses. They're literally waving Hamas flags, talking about from the river to the sea. That's calling for an extermination of an entire nation. But that's okay. But a campaign rally, it's a brilliant point. I didn't even think of it. Brilliant point.
The Holocaust, Hitler, to score political points when you ignore the greatest slaughter of Jews since the actual Holocaust, which happened on October 7th. All this Hitler talk, all this Holocaust talk, with so little Holocaust studies in schools. Do not bring up Hitler and Nazis when there are 101 hostages. 101 hostages, and you say nothing about them. Cut the shit. Do not use Nazis and Hitler for your agenda when you haven't mentioned the 13 women that are still being held captive today. While you're wearing your
and when you're wearing your kefka or whatever you call it, you're wearing that, and the women that are still being the hostages are still there. The 30 women, they're still there. They being treated well. You think we're over a year into this that they've been down there in those tunnels? Exactly.
Futurist female T-shirt. It's disgusting. It's disrespectful to the victims and survivors of the Holocaust and to the real-time victims and survivors and the hostages of October 7th. Stop it.
Attaboy. But I told you that wasn't going to be the only thing that was brought up, because he brought up the Madison Square Garden thing because it's important. And by the way, there was somebody that introduced Kamala Harris yesterday at a rally that I am going to give mad credit to. So I just want you to know that towards the end of the show, we are going to give some serious credit to a man who is throwing all of his billionaire weight behind Kamala Harris. And I think he needs to be applauded. I won't tell you why. So now I got your attention down there. That's right. Let's see who brought up the Madison Square Garden thing. Let's see. Will this surprise anyone if I said it's come on, Hills?
Thing that you'll see next week, Caitlin, is Trump actually.
By the way, that's iRobot Caitlin Collins.
Reenacting the Madison Square Garden rally in 1939. I write about this in my book.
Oh, there she is. I write about this in my book. Again, Schilling Books. It is quite literally the Trump economy. The Trump economy, forget about the 2017 tax code, forget about almost zero inflation, forget about all of the good economic stuff going down. Everybody making more money, the IRS even making more money. Forget about that. The Trump economy literally is millions on top of millions of books sold.
President Franklin Roosevelt was appalled that neo-Nazis, fascists in America were lining up to essentially pledge their support for the kind of government that they were seeing in Germany. So I don't think we can ignore it. Now,
wow. Okay. Well, there you have it. I already know it. You can just pull this out of the playbook because it's so laughable. And I hope that anyone involved in that rally, anyone involved in that campaign stop gets ahead of this and keeps an eye. Basically, just I would send out the email to anyone who bought tickets and just really be on top of this one and really start to plant the seed in the media as well. There will be, mark my words, the anti-Trumpies are going to be out there with their swastikas, with their flags, with their nonsense, their armbands, trying to look like they're there for some Nazi rally to make it look like Donald Trump's inviting this is bleeping lazy. It's lazy. Put forth your plan for the country and campaign on it. And if you believe that your opponents can't, policies, excuse me, hold on, let me get some coffee. Let's figure this out. Your opponent's policies are weaker than yours. Highlight that. You literally have you can put all of the shenanigans of the life of Donald Trump before he became president of the United States. All of the shenanigans. There's enough to point out if you want to go after someone without even saying the word Hitler. For the love of grief, he's been in the public eye since he was 25. Like, come on. There's no lack of it. It's just absolutely lazy. And for a former Secretary of State to say this is a recreation of a 1939 Nazi rally is absolutely childish and lazy and dangerous. Every unhinged, and I'm not saying that the Democrat, every unhinged Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter. Every unhinged person out there that thinks this man is going to bring Nazi Germany here is going to take another shot at him. We've already had 2 assassination attempts. This is just dumb. This is weak. Oh, it pisses me off. It just does. This is done to piss me off more than this. Just play. I don't even care. I understand it's politics. Don't play fair. Not playing fair is part of the game. I mean, you got to have crocodile skin you want to get in this game. You got to be tough. Come on. To play right. How about that? I would say that because you're not going to play fair. No one's going to play fair. Republicans aren't playing fair. Democrats aren't playing fair. Fine. I mean, they're talking about Kamala Harris in Montel and all that. Who cares? Who cares? I mean, we got to deal with the right now. So I think the Montel stuff, even the Willie Brown thing's fun to poke at, but easy Grizz. But it's fun. But I mean, it's like, come on, it's not she's not qualified because of that. No, it's lazy. Again, go after, fine, but it's got to be, battle on battle. Yeah. But anyway, learning history, and no one knows. No one really understands the history of any of this. Why? Because of our craptastic education system. So let's actually jump into pull this up here. This is actually some examples along his life of that man being Hitler. So we're going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and we'll share the screen here because it's a lot more fun when we share the screen. Share screen. I know it gives me this warning. So here we go. And here we are. Here is 1994. He's looking menacingly at a black man, of course, when he was the co-star of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Just go down here to 1996. Here's Hitler making a phone call to deport a woman for her foreign accent as a guest star on The Nanny. Here he is in 2005, Hitler invading the Emmy Awards disguised as a farmer. And there he is, and narrowly avoiding being eaten by a famous anti-fascist, Michael Moore. Because again, and I'm just going to keep scrolling through these. I like this one. In 1988, Hitler tries to convince George Bush to invade Poland, Ohio. And he wore a polka dotted tie when he was a kid here. Here he is on WWF. Jimmy Fallon. Yeah, obviously. This is my favorite too. Look at this. That fascinating. Yeah. I like that. No 5 Hitler met with a notorious assassin with ties to Russia and her husband. That was their wedding, by the way. That was the Trump wedding starring Bill and Hillary there. Yep. SNL on top of SNL. I mean, it just goes on and on. This is my favorite here. Date unknown. Hitler meets John Kerry. Oh, wow. What about this? Yeah, this is that black Nazi there. Yeah. Good. Oh, there he is with Moore being racist. Yeah. Oh, there, him and Oprah. Trump chicken was fantastic. I don't know if you guys saw that commercial. That commercial was absolutely hilarious. This is funny. Hitler attempts to knock over Western Wall in Jerusalem. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there he is. I'm telling you. Yeah. Oh, did you hear about that Nelson Mandela thing? Did you guys hear about that when the United States military, the government couldn't get Mandela here? Couldn't move Mandela from airport to airport when he was here after he was freed, him and 80 of his people. Yeah. Trump sent the jet. Nobody hears about that. Not supposed to. Can't hear about that. I'm telling you, it's a different world. And this is again when we in 2014, when we overturned, and I say we, hey, look, I'm saying we. Everybody say, oh, it's Obama. It's Obama. No. Boehner and McConnell had everything in the world to do with overturning the Smith-Mundt Act. Everything in the world. Every Republican voted for it. It wouldn't have passed without it. Every single Republican has it on their hands as well. Overturned it. Now we can just say whatever the hell we want as a government to we the people and just lie through our teeth. The Smith-Mundt Act. It was signed in 1948 by President Truman. Overturned in 2014 by both parties. Yeah. Absolutely absurd. Just absolutely absurd. But again, the scare tactics are where we're dealing with this. Here's little Tampa Timmy Walls.
I don't say this lightly because I didn't.
Yeah, I don't say this lightly, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it lightly, but I'm going to say it.
In my 60 damn years, I didn't think I'd ever see a candidate for president praising Adolf Hitler's generals.
Okay, didn't happen. Did not happen, but here he is. He's saying that you can say that on the campaign trail because they overturned the Smith-Mundt Act.
Or talking about using the military against their enemies. And I mean, it's pretty stunning. And I said, look, I recognize I'm on the top of his list, but don't kid yourself. You're somewhere on that list too if you disagree with these people. That's who they are.
Telling students at the University of North Carolina, Donald Trump wins, he's going to round you up with the U.S. military because you voted against him. And to hear anything from the audience is like, oh, really? Y'all, this really? That's like me getting on here and telling everybody here, hey, everybody, if Kamala Harris wins, she's putting us all into Republican re-education camps. No. Even if she joked about it one time, come on. Good Lord. And how in the hell these kids, University of North Carolina is that easy to get into? Come on, Tar Heels, be a little better than that. Be better. Holy. You're gonna admit kids that believe that crap? Oh, you're gonna be rounded up. With U.S. military to round you up. But I do want to talk about this. We're going to get your comments here, and I appreciate you guys going. As a matter of fact, let's take a quick time out before we roll in this and make sure we get to everybody's comments here. I want to feed the gang here. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. We call them communists. They call them Nazis in Germany. Well said, Alfred. Very good. I guess you could, but in Lynn, yeah. I mean, we could. Everybody. We can make up anybody. Y'all can call me Hitler. I mean, anybody can call anyone Hitler. It's just if they got it. Yeah. And I do agree, Greg. It's just, you hear it in the back. Desperado. It's bad. Did you see? I believe it's not the Washington Times. New York Times. Washington. One of them, one of the rags had one of the old fish wrappers actually has Don up 3 points in the popular vote. Up 3 points. Do you understand how much that is? There's 160 million registered voters in this country. 160 million. Yes, trust me, the math checks out. 160 million. That sounded like a lot to me. So, but you think about the totals of less. So 160 million. I know we throw the jokes of the what's going on in Pennsylvania right now. I saw that they had 2,800 ballots, same handwriting. Oof. There is 160 million. If 3% of that, 3%. I'm just going to do it here. Siri, you got this. What's 3% of 160 million? 4.8 million. That would be absurd. That would be an ass kicking. Oh, yeah. All right, let's go here. So let's see what you got, Truman. Like the traders general who are going to alert China of anything. Yeah. Look, again, wasn't it just so wild? I mean, during those 4 years, it was just like there was so many leaks. It was like trying to carry water in a colander. I mean, there was nothing you could do that wasn't immediately leaked to the press. It just seemed as if something in every staff meeting, whatever it was in the Oval Office, somebody ran to the nearest light, the nearest camera they could find, the nearest microphone they could find, and say, he said this, or she said that, or this was suggested. Yeah. And Mike, yeah. Mike, I think what we saw there, and I think one of the reasons why the polls are the way the polls are, is because people now, at least I have, and I've been open and admitted about this. I feel sorry for Biden. I feel sorry for what they did to him. And I think a lot of people say that's it's a thing. All right, let's keep going. Palestinians state, what you got, Alfred? This is a big one. Thing is, Hitler wrote exactly what yeah. Politicians saying how they say it is definitely a thing. And again, I give Don credit on that. Is because it's like told y'all what I was going to do as president, and I did it. Yeah. The average American voter sees right through it, and I agree with that. And I think that's the basically the silver lining in all of this is that we the people see through it. And that doesn't mean you don't have to, if you want to vote for Kamala, vote for Kamala. It's just not it's just this showman stuff. This show stuff is just it's damn near embarrassing. And if you think that one side, one party is right for the country and the other side is right for the country, fine. Then go on policy. Don't go on somebody who talked to Trump 5 years ago, or Kamala 10 years ago, or Kamala's husband, smacked a girlfriend or something like that. I mean, what does that have to do with anything? It shows character. They're politicians. They have none. Let's be honest. They're narcissists. They're sociopaths. Anyone who runs for this high of an office has a screw loose, a complete screw loose. Hey, who would want to do this? Who in the hell would want to do this? I don't even want to run for like city council. Like, oh man, the stuff I've said, could you imagine? Someone just go through a year of my shows and they're like, yeah, we got him. Don't worry about it. He's good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now I want to get to this. Okay, let's see. What do we got here, bud? Greg said Nixon had 61% of the popular vote in 1972. Yeah, you actually have to go back to, I believe it was 88, Greg. You with me on this? The last time? Was that it? Was it 88? Was it 88 W? No. HW. I think both Bushes had won the popular vote. But I think those are the last two. Yeah. I just think, well, unless you want to count hanging chads and stuff. Oh, yeah, don't get me started on that stuff. Actually, something true with that is my son's favorite song. My son, he's 16 years old. That is literally his favorite song. He loves that song. And no, he's not going to run for office. He'll just in his world, he'll buy the world. Yeah. Ursula, he said to underestimate average American vote, never underestimate. And that's why I'm such a champion of we the people, and I believe that this still is the greatest country. I think it's one of those poorly run countries. We have a bunch of morons running the show. We've had that for decades. We've had morons running the show. But we the people are the greatest part of this. We the people are America. We are, all of us, Democrat, Republican, Independents, Green Party, Libertarians, don't care. We'll all take care of each other. Literally all take care of each other. But there are a whole bunch of loonies out there that I think are going to cause some crap. I think they're going to cause some problems. I don't care what side it is. I don't care if it's one wins or the other doesn't. I don't care if Kamala wins, Trump wins, whatever. Something's going to go down. People are being loony. How do I know this? This isn't just a hunch. It's been a hunch for a while until I just discovered what the Department of Defense did. What was it? It's taken in, let's see, it was voted on this week. It is taking effect. Let me see here. The 27th. So it'll take effect on Sunday. And I am going to read this to you if I can. Hang tight. I'm moving one screen to the, there it goes. It is so big. I don't even have to put on my spectacles. How about that? All right, here we go. Secretary of Defense approval. The Deputy Secretary of Defense has already pushed it through. It's done. The Secretary of Defense may approve any type of requested permissible assistance described in paragraph 3.2. The decision to approve requests for these types of permissible assistance, and this is the United States military assisting local law enforcement in squashing any kerfuffles, is really what this is. So this goes down. This is a DOD. The provision they're citing is the DOD response to chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and high-yield explosive incidents. The assistance in responding with assets, that's military, with potential for lethality or any situation in which it is reasonable, foreseeable that providing the requested assistance may involve the use of force is likely to result in lethal force, including death or serious bodily injury. It also includes all supports to civilian law enforcement officials in situations where a confrontation between civil law enforcement and civilian individuals or groups is reasonably anticipated, not happening, anticipated. Such use of force must be in accordance to the DOD 521056, potentially as further restricted based on specifics of the requested support. For the very first time, there is approval from the Department of Defense for military action against United States citizens. This approval, it's not saying it's going to happen. It's not saying they're not sending them out. Don't worry, I'm saying that, but it's saying that after the election, if goes down, military will be involved. Damn. And I mean, look, I'm not saying that the Bidens are, doing no. Biden's over here. He's out here in Arizona today, actually, apologizing to the Native Americans, apologizing forcefully, getting all grumpy about it. But this is basically confirming what I was saying. Something's going to go. I mean, somebody's going to act a fool. Groups are going to act a fool. It might be the certain alphabet agencies that act a fool, or that are encouraging the fool acting. But it ain't going to be pretty. So I'm not saying we're going to civil war or anything like that. I'm just y'all. When the Department of Defense said, "Hey, getting a vibe here that this is kind of a powder keg." We have spent so many years vilifying the other side, and I mean vilifying the other side, and we are so contained in our own little bubble that this might come to a head. And it might come to a head because we have on one side I would say, underqualified individual to run the free world. And the other side will look at this side and say, they have a felon. And one of those two people will become the president of the United States of America. And half of the country will not know how, no matter how it goes, half of the country will not know how the hell that happened. Do you know of a Republican that'd be like, oh, yeah, I could totally see a Kamala win, and that'd be cool? Nope. They say, how the hell did that happen? Democrats, look at a Trump win. How the hell did that happen? Yeah. And that's you and I. You and I are cool, calm, and collected. You and I are going to be like, okay, well, let's kind of dust ourselves off and see how we can at least survive during this. And I mean survive is, have a good life and continue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, yada, yada. But there will be people that just are just snap. Again, doesn't matter which way it goes. Somebody gonna snap. I mean, look at, again, the rhetoric is so hot that for the first time I can remember, maybe some of you can remember the Kennedys. I can't. I remember Reagan getting shot. But we've had one time he got hit, one he would have got hit. It was basically a sitting duck. He was right at that hole. So that's what was coming over from the Department of Defense. And just, I want you to understand this. It is not the Department of Defense is not encouraging the military. So just, put down your torches and your pitchforks. Is not encouraging the military to go after citizenry. Basically just, y'all, this might get hairy and we're going to be prepared for it. And that's it. Yeah. Yeah. And Mike, I think it's a definitely a good point. Bring this tone. We need to tone down the rhetoric. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's not to make themselves feel better because they have no intention of toning down the rhetoric. Not at all. They know their rhetoric is working in some cases and they're going to keep it up. I played you the video. It's called the wrap-up smear. Remember that? Nancy Pelosi describing what they call the wrap-up smear, which is make up a story about your opposition, leak it to the press reports on it, then it gets credibility because it's been reported on. And then you, what did she say? She didn't say monetize it. She said you merchandise it, is what she said. You merchandise it, and then you kind of move on after you've made what you wanted to make on it, whether it's, cash or, campaign donations or whatever the hell it is. Just move on. Yeah, tone down doesn't go. No, Brandon. No. Toning down the rhetoric does not mean stop calling someone Hitler. I mean, come on. That's just mild rhetoric right there. Let me tell you this. Yes. Hundreds of thousands. Okay, let's go, Greg. I think I know where you're going with this, buddy. All right. Hundreds of thousands of military guys, mostly retired, will not print another. That's true. Correct. Yes. Will take peaceful action to protest citizens, Trump and U.S. government. Correct. I do 1 bazillion percent believe that. But how about this, though? Let's step away from it. Let's get into in other news, in that news. Okay. So let's step away from some think the DOD now has a license to kill. Some say the DOD is weaponized by the Biden administration. Some say we're just protecting. Put yourself in the spot of a man or a woman in uniform right now. What a scary time this has to be. I mean, I would think scarier than the proposition of being sent overseas to go to war or just to protect military installations or to get involved in anything going on. I think the scariest thing that you can is as an American citizen in a military uniform with an American flag on your arm, seeing this and wondering, what the hell am I going to do? Do I feel that I'm being turned against my citizenry? Am I defending my country against enemies, foreign and domestic? Who's the enemy? I would say the vast majority of our military holds that flag on their arm with pride and wants to defend this country, not participate in the shredding of it. I think it's got to be a tough time. And my heart goes out to any parents right now that have a kid in the military and are thinking, whoa, what you gonna do? Yeah. I mean, I felt bad during, the cops, just basically first responders during the BLM riots and all that. I just, my heart went out to them. So what are you going to do? There are people, quite literally, there are people burning buildings down, but there are some people, and no, I'm not doing the CNN thing, but there are people that are peacefully protesting. And you're sent out to arrest these people. It just, my heart goes out to them in this time, and especially after that DOD Department of Defense memorandum, that change in policy essentially that allows, okay, if lethal force is needed, go for it, kind of thing. Put yourself in their shoes. This isn't a video game. This is real life. These are real humans. These are real humans that are going to be looking at real humans and having to make that choice against people they were sworn to protect. Oof. Y'all, I just, again, most of the country's looking at this DOD news, and I saw RFK Jr. post on it as well. And he's right. It is the first time that's been authorized in United States history. It is truly the first time. It is a historic authorization to our military. But that's not Republican versus Democrat. These are kids. These are kids. My nephew-in-law is in the military. He's a child. He's 21 years old, 22. Hell the hell. Anyway, he's 20-something. He's a kid. He didn't have what we have. He hasn't been taught life. Anyway, when you see that, when you hear those headlines, you hear your friends talking about it over the weekend, maybe at the barbecue or whatever. Just hopefully you bring the temp of the room down by just saying, these are those people in military uniforms that might be deployed are kids. And they're gonna be faced with life-changing decisions if this were to actually happen. They'd be faced with soul-changing decisions if this happens. This isn't a game, y'all. This isn't a game. We say politics is a game. We play it like a game of chess, and we know the teams. I remember the first time I filled in on the sports station here in Phoenix, and I was so excited because I'm not a sports nerd, although I'm excited about the Dodge games. I'm not a sports nerd, but I do know a good amount about sports. And when I was preparing for my very first sports show, I thought, oh my God, I've been doing political radio for 10 years. It's the same thing. I know the teams, I know the players, I know their MOs, I know who's more of I know the strategies that are being deployed. Holy mackerel, this is easy. And then you take it to a situation like this, and the game's not a game anymore. You got to remove yourself from that and realize that we have, somebody has family that's going to get caught up in this. It's bad. Yeah. Age doesn't matter as much as what it was. I'm sorry, Greg. I'm sorry, Grizz. Can you finish that up, buddy? I didn't see what you had there. You said so when you grow up, you grow up in the military. Age doesn't matter. So, okay, I see what you're saying there. Yeah, I would assume so. But I do know, like I said, my nephew-in-law, he doesn't know much growing up. Especially those that are already stateside. I highly doubt the Department of Defense is going to pull everybody that's actually, in on the front lines, pulling them back or inches from the front line, if you know what I'm saying, as we, no boots on the ground. The stateside kids are the ones that will be caught up in the middle of this. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the tough part about that, Greg, is that you're never going to know who. Because remember, the word widespread is thrown out way too much. Way too much. And you're right, Lynn. Killing sucks any way you look at it. Reeling back the limits on increasing public facing laws to the extent even lawyers are losing track of them. And when I do take over as king of the world, I will make sure that okay, maybe not king of the world. Okay, maybe I become the president. Fine, I'll run. If you pass a law, every law I sign, by the way, can't be more than front and back 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, 12-point type. Can't be. Sorry, that's the law. Then I'm going to get rid of 3 more. Sign 1, get rid of 3. Sign 1, get rid of. And by the way, on top of that, Brendan, the laws are written so vague. I remember Rob always talked about that. He's talking about the book 3 Felonies a Day, that the laws are so vague that basically you just going about your day, me going and picking up my groceries, this, that, and the other, I could probably find, you can say, yeah, well, he violated this law because it's written this way. 3 felonies a day. The average American commits 3 felonies a day. It's an interesting thought. It really is. This happens when politicians in the media have been stoking the flames of hate and discontent. Absolutely. I thought that was pretty funny with Barry O going, oh, right. Where did this all start? Remember, when you're pointing a finger, you got 3 pointing right back at you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Alfred, that's right. Yeah, born and raised military. But I think you probably know what I'm saying, is that you remember probably, Alfred, if you've been in the military your whole life, you're raised in the military, you understand that. You understand when the first time you stepped into first time you put a uniform on, you weren't the wise person you are this moment, right? You didn't have the life's hardening that you have now. You probably got it quickly, but the first time, yeah. There you go. Okay, Grizz, you win right there. There you go. You got to hear this, Queen B, King M, and Queen B. I'm down with that. Okay, we're in. I don't even know if she's listening. On front, let's see, percentage under the, yeah, we're going to see. I'll take the under and pick the, okay, I'm with you on that bet. I'm going to go with you on that. 100%. Yeah. Actually, yeah. I hate it when work is, all right. It's all right, True. It's all good. Let's get to something a little different, because that was got a little bit taxing there. I'll tell you that much. How about this? I'm going to give credit right now. You're already there, Chris. You're already the jester. Can I give credit to someone who introduced Kamala yesterday? You might not agree with the speech, but I'm going to tell you who you're looking at, and I'm going to talk to you about this human, because I'm a huge fan, giant fan of this guy. I don't know much about him. I just know his attitude, and I know where he comes from. Check this out.
You want to hear something about an American dream? Fort McPherson was once a Confederate Army base where there were Confederate soldiers trying to plot and plan on how to keep 3.9 million Negroes enslaved. Now that land is owned by me.
Bam. Tyler Perry's he's a real deal, man. Dude is a real deal. Let me tell you about that. Again, I don't care if he's voting for Kamala. I love the dude. He's fantastic. I mean, this guy quite literally put his mouth, his money where his mouth is. He did not, in the time of, and this was years ago, in the time of, the pay disparity between whites and blacks, and there's nobody getting good paying, black people getting good paying jobs in Hollywood, and everybody was just coming, government action, somebody, we need to pass laws. You know what he did? He said, it's dumb. He started his only black only movie company. And they've made hits. And I mean everybody. From the key grip all the way to the actors. I mean, they have white actors and stuff like that. But I mean, it is majority. Like, he's like, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm just going to take my brothers and my sisters. I'm going to put them in this. Let's go. We can fix this. Yeah, I can fix it. I'm not going to complain about what one company does. I'm going to start my own company and do it right. And he said, look, I'm a billionaire now, which he is. I think it's the Medina movies. What was it? Where he dressed up like a grandma. Yeah. All right, anyway. And instead of saying like, oh, here's a site where, the Southern forces, wanted to keep slavery around and, they're going to make a monument to it. He bought the damn thing. I love the guy. That's the kind of attitude everybody needs to have. That's the guy. Look, why? I'm not going to look to government to fix it. There's a problem. All right, cool. I'm go ahead and I'll solve the damn problem. Do one Vanilla Ice on the whole thing. Medea, thank you. Appreciate it, Chris. But yeah, the Medea franchise was huge. And again, made him a billionaire with a B. And so he's using instead of bitching and moaning about everything, he's using his influence, his power, his talents, his time, his treasures to make the change that he feels needs to be made. I think he is a huge story. Huge story that everyone in America should celebrate. I don't give a rat's ass if they're introducing Kamala. Who cares? Dude's a stud and a great story. And I should look at Elon the same way. Yeah. Yeah, don't worry about your competition. Yeah. Let them take time and spend money worrying about you. I love that line. Let's go, Greg. I love that. Yeah. Don't worry about your competition. Let them take time and spend money worrying about you. That is nothing. I don't think better words were said. What did I have here? Hold on a second here. What's coming up here? What? Oh! This was just random, but here we go.
I hate that he plays on the fact that most people.
Okay, you know who this is, right? This representative is just she made a name for herself, and I forget one of the little sham things. It might have been the Hunter Biden laptop thing. I forget what it was, but she just went full on, hey, and now she's a star on MSNBC.
I hate that he plays on the fact that most people, unless you've been through the immigration system, don't really understand how immigration works. But typically when I'm on the...
Because again, I'm going to go from Tyler Perry, who instead of complaining about whether it's, I don't know, it's discrimination. How about that? Complaining of discrimination will go to a actual woman who is a congresswoman. And she is, I think, Riz, that's appropriate. The actual congresswoman who is going to talk about the other side. Here, check us out.
Road and people talk to me about the price of food. One of the things that I ask them is, how many of your children are you raising to go and work on the farms? And I usually get absolutely zero hands. And I explain to them, this is why we don't demonize people that are actually coming to our country.
Because you need them to pick your crops? I don't know if I could think of a more discriminatory or racist thing, just line of thinking.
To help us out.
But they've been open on this the whole time.
Economically, if you want to better understand how it is that our food prices are so expensive, well, one of the reasons is that we don't have the labor that we need. I have talked to the farmers as someone that serves on the ag committee, or when we look at how he's demonized the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, we know that those business persons have come out and said, no, they helped us out. We needed that labor.
Yes, all the business persons have. Every single one of them.
So we need to be smart about immigration. We obviously need to be safe. And there was a bipartisan bill that could have been passed. But
no, the bipartisan bill put $60 billion to Ukraine. That's why it didn't pass. 100%. I think 6 million went to border security. 60 billion went to Ukraine. That's why it didn't pass. Had nothing to do with anything but that and that alone.
It was Donald Trump that decided that he wanted something to campaign on. Do you want somebody that is going to play games with you, or do you want somebody that is going to offer solutions regardless as to
been there 3.5 years, too late.
Who is in the White House? And that is the blue team. We are solutions oriented. That is why he is taking so many rounds and taking credit for things such as the stimulus checks that he ended up signing into law. It was the Democrats in the House and the Senate that produced that legislation. It wasn't initiated by him. All he did was slow the checks down because he wanted to put his name on it. But that's because Democrats believe in governing no matter who is in the White House, unlike the Republicans. And this is why we have had the most unproductive Congress in the history of Congresses, because the Republicans run it. So if you want more of the same people.
Actually, no, that's not again. It's no 2 full years. Unipart, 2 full years, one party control, 2 full years. And no, I don't know anybody who's going to brag about stimulus checks. Why would you brag about a stimulus check? Why? You know, I had this great conversation with Queen Bee the other night, and it was about the social services. It was about the right way, and how amazing they are, and how I think the vast majority of Americans say, yeah, dude, any of us, any we the people need a helping hand. We got you all day, but stimulus checks, ugh. Absolutely ridiculous. I'll tell you where the stimulus checks went. I was at the lake on Intern Bean's certification dive, and I looking around, saw all those new boats, new trucks and stuff. Yeah, I knew right where those stimulus checks were. They went W style on that. Remember, W sent the stimulus checks out. He's like, "Oh, go spend it. Yeah, go spend them. They're spending them." Mm-hmm. So, oh, wait a second. Wait. No way. That's a terrible idea. Grizz came up with a terrible idea. No, why? Grizz said, so have Queen Bee on so we can get her side. No. You see, this is my show. I can make up how all stories go. And every single time I'm right. Dead right. Yeah, you don't need another side. You gotta trust me, buddy. Just trust me. Greg says Lady Bee in Canada would be called Lady Bee. So yes, definitely. Oh my goodness, yes, it is. I think we are going to need a decompression session. Hold on, what is this
thing that you'll see next week?
I was wondering what the heck that was. Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to scare you. A little early Halloween for you. Let's do a little decompression session. Oh, I appreciate that, Truman. Thank you very much. That is very kind of you. And yes, Grizz, yes, that is correct. Let's see here, Truman. Thank you. Condolences, loss of Fernando. From a Padres fan, you just can't. I mean, I'm telling you, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of things. I think there's going to be a lot of tributes tonight. This is going to be at Dodger Stadium, so I'm sure there's going to be some Fernando stuff there. So I think it's going to be a little heartwarming. I'm not crying, you're crying, kind of stuff. But we got to name the tortoise after him, Fernando Tortosuela. So that's good. That's his namesake. And Fernando Mania was just a thing. Oh. It was a thing. So how about this? Did it Fernando? No. Yeah, my Fernando Morton. He was sad. He was very sad. But here's the deal. Fernando, check this out. In the season that he had, I think, 21 wins. This is Fernando Valenzuela. You don't have this. He had 8 complete games. Complete games. Who has complete games anymore? No, I'm sorry. No, he had 8 shutouts. I believe it was of the, and he had I think it was over 11 complete games. He had 8 shutouts. The guy was just was lights out in every way. Just such a, remember he'd rock back and he'd roll his eyes in the back. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What was it from Bull Durham? So like he's like some lizard or something. He breathed through his eyelids. You know. Everybody, you couldn't. It was hard not to love in Montreal Expo fans. Yeah, it was hard not to love him. He was just that guy. And what do they call? Lasorda called him El Toro. Yeah, the bull, because he was. What do you call? Well, he also called Oral Hershiser Bulldog. And like you see Oral Hershiser, you're like, that's no bulldog right there. But Oral Hershiser is vicious, like Larry Bird, kind of like. He looked unassuming, but Dude, the mindset on that guy. That guy, I remember Oral Hershiser was calling one of the games, and he saw somebody got to first base or something like that, and one of the opposing team got to first base, and the first baseman and the opposing guy on first base was chatting it up and kind of laughing. He goes, "As a pitcher," he goes, I'd have a talk with my first baseman. He goes, "You're not here to be friends with him." He's like, "He just got on base. He's actually threatening to score against your team. You're not friends with him." I'm like, that's coming from Oral Hershiser, one of the nicest guys in the world. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, pitching next season? Shohei will be pitching, I believe, but it doesn't really matter. You know, throw out 60 home runs in a season. I don't care if you ever throw a ball the rest of your life. Keep doing that. All right. So this is just something weird. I don't know. This is something I saw, you guys, that I wanted to share with you because it is probably the weirdest thing I've seen in a long time for a decompression session. And I don't even know if it fits the mold as a decompression session, but you guys know, and we've gone the rounds. We've gone the comment rounds and stuff. And yes, I'm putting my glasses on. We've gone the comment rounds over and over and over again about my thoughts on Disney. And one of the weirdest things I've ever seen comes from basically a blogger or vlogger for Disney. I don't know. Here, check this out. I don't even know how to explain it.
Everything I own and love that not a single one of you knew that this was a thing. So if you go to Tokyo Disneyland, there's this one Baymax ride. And on this Baymax ride, there's about 6 songs that play. And each song is about 30 seconds each. So if you're waiting in line for a long time, there's a good chance you're going to hear all 6 of them. Well,
I mean, it could be 36. I mean, if you're in line for 3 minutes. But okay, we're not going to do the math. We're going to get caught up in the math. This is the weirdest culty thing that I've seen in a hot minute. Watch this.
Well, while I'm in line, I noticed that there was this girl wearing Baymax-themed clothes that was just off to the side, dancing, and she knew all of the words and all.
Yeah, doing your thing. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay, it's a bumper cars, and you just go out to do your thing. You're having a good time, right?
Of the choreography that the staff was doing to this ride. And I thought, wow, she must be a really big fan.
Yeah, or a weirdo. You know, one of the two, a big fan or weirdo. Check this out.
But then I noticed there were more people joining in. And then there were even more people joining in.
It's like, it's like going to Rocky Horror Picture Show. Everybody's up there doing the time warp, Tokyo Disney style. Check it out.
And they were hyped up, and they were here from the moment that the park was open till when it closed.
Okay, so that's what they did for the whole day? That's what they did. They did that all day. Park employees, what is this?
When I looked online, I found out that this is a cult following that buys Disney tickets just to dance at this ride all day and nothing else at the park. And
that is cult.
That's pretty awesome. So I joined them.
No. Do you see how easy it is to get people to join cults? Oh, quite literally. They buy, you know how much a damn ticket is to Disney? They buy it to go in that line and dance. Yeah. Big weird. Wait, what? There's a lot going on here. You guys, weird ass Disney fans. Saw a post today that, let's see, kids born in 1996 going to be 40. Oh, see, well, yeah, okay. Plus fake king, Democrats. Robin Hood, Disney one. Oh, that's pretty funny right there. We'll watch Robin Hood. That was one of my favorite movies. That was my favorite movie as a kid, hands down. I can't even guess at the number. I really can't even guess the number how many times I've seen that movie. Yeah, but that's always funny. They always say like, "Oh yes, look at this. This politician is like Robin Hood." That's right, going to tax the rich. Yeah, that's what Rob. No, no. Robin Hood was actually stealing from the government for overtaxing their citizenry. Yeah, people don't usually get that. It's not steal from the rich to give to the poor. It was steal from the government, which was the king, and gave it back to them. No. What was it? Was it Bob Gibson? It was a badass of badasses. He threw at a guy in the on-deck circle. What was the Bob Uecker line from Major League? That was fantastic. He's like, this guy threw at his kid at a father-son game. Oh, man. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for such a fun week. I had so much fun with everybody, and love you guys for participating, playing along. This is your show. We just get to play along as we go and kind of squirrel every single time we can. And I love that about you guys. Share it out, like it. Have a great weekend. Have some fun. Go Dodgers. We're gonna just kind of limp our way, hopefully, to a World Series title, and we'll be watching. So have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you Monday right here on In